My name is Christian Ulang. I am a lead programmer.
I'm one of the lead programmers.
I'm a graphics programmer.
My job is pretty much to...
I think
That's a surprisingly difficult question to answer.
it's kind of tricky to describe because the role is so different.
I make all of the stuff that allows the artists to do their jobs.
You get a machine that runs on zeros and ones to make pretty pictures. I think that's a pretty good explanation of my job.
I think Naughty Dog is unique among game development companies in that we don't tend to pay a lot of attention to your credentials or your background.
We don't look for someone that needs to have 10 years of experience and have been doing console development all their life.
They didn't care about the fact that I hadn't worked in the games industry before. They didn't care about my degree or that kind of stuff.
Foremost, it's passion.
What have you done in your free time to learn about the current techniques that are being used?
Personal projects, you need to be playing games.
Have you written a ray tracer, like a renderer or a rasterizer? Have you played around with DirectX 11? Have you played around with OpenGL?
Something that shows that you love making games, being surrounded by games, because that's what we do. For programmers, we have a three-step interview process.
So it starts out with a phone interview, and if that goes well, then you have another phone interview that's more in-depth and involves more math, more technical questions, and lasts a little bit longer.
A lot of programmers, when they first come here, when they're interviewed, might be a little surprised that we're so focused on math. I think math is a super important aspect of all game development.
Being able to methodically and logically solve problems. That's what makes a good programmer. That's what makes the core of our team here.
New people that join us, we take them, we throw them at the deep end of the pool, say, here's the task, go with it.
I think people who need more guidance or look to a manager or a producer, those people struggle here because there's not a lot of that. But it's also what makes it fantastic to work here.
You know, it's a sort of a core skill to be able to focus on what you need to do, but also be willing to be available to help others. Everyone finds a way to strike the right balance.
I really feel like it's up to you, and it is up to you because the team is so small. It is up to each person. Like, one person can make a difference here.
Everyone can walk up to anyone and say, this sucks. This is not fun. Let's iterate. Let's figure out a way how we can make this fun. And for me personally, it was like getting a cold shower when I first got here.
You're surrounded by people who know more than you do, and you're just always constantly learning from them.
A lot of companies like to say that, oh yeah, we hire the best in the industry, but in here it's like we actually, like, people here are the best in the industry.
When I first was considering coming to Naughty Dog, I talked to a colleague of mine, and he said something that I'll always remember. He said, you should really just go to the University of Naughty Dog, right? Go there to learn, to master your skills, to hone your abilities. It's just such fun to be shoulder to shoulder with giants in the industry, people who really know what they're doing. And I've been here for 8 years and I'm still learning.
I've always known that I've always wanted to work at Naughty Dog, but I've never thought I was sort of like, quote unquote, ready. There's just a friend of mine mentioned that Naughty Dog always has an opening and I should try applying. And I'll be like, they won't accept me. Why should I bother? And then I just did, and I got the interview, and I passed the first interview, I passed the second interview, I passed the in-person interview. I was like, holy crap, I have a job at Naughty Dog, so just go for it, just apply, you never know.
And that's basically the three main roles in the game industry. So we're going to look at here, this is some of the jobs that are listed here. There's on the left is actually game art, and on the middle is actually game design. And on the right is actually game technology or the game programming. So essentially you have this kind of three major fields that makes up the game development field. Of course, there's a lot of other roles that I'll share a bit later. But generally in the game art, you're talking about 3D artists where you can do environment or character. You can do vehicles. They also have roles such as 2D artists who are 2D animators and 3D animators. You have concept artists or illustrator. You have lead artists, which is more of a management role. And you have technical artists or UX designer generally. And of course, you also tend to have the art director, kind of like the management level for the studio. And we have in game design, there are different roles such as game designer, which is sort of a generic catch-all phrase to all kind of game design, but there are also specific kind of game design such as level design. People actually figure out where to put the placement in the game, and there's a QA and game tester as part of the game design team, where you have to play test and make sure the games are as bug free as possible. And there's also content designer, people who actually write and probably decide how the content is going to scale. For example, imagine in a game you have more than 100 weapons, such as swords and all that. Someone have to sit down and give names and provide statistics, provide like a description and data like stats, balance, and all that. So also you have systems and technical designer, people actually work on various systems such as and do scripting on the game design side. And on top of that, we also have game writer and narrative designer, people actually work and narrate stories for the games that they're working on. And the more sort of like modern world also have monetization specialists, and this role is actually to figure out how to monetize. And this is typically more common on free-to-play games, where they need this kind of job roles to kind of like help them to figure out how they can monetize the game. On top of that, we have game producer and project manager, which is typically kind of like the one that manage the production and the project. And on top of that, we have the creative or the game director, typically the one that has the vision to kind of like set up for the game itself. And for the game technology, commonly a lot of people start with the game or gameplay programmer. And on top of that, you can actually branch into different fields such as web or server programmer or tools programmer. You can work on the engine itself, or even a subset of engines such as AI, UI, network, graphics, physics, audio. And you can also work as technology evangelist, software architect or analyst. And of course, you have the chief technology officer, sort of like the management level for the game technology field. Okay, this is the more common one, and I'll move to the next part of the slide, which is this is the not so common, but it's up and rising. It's becoming more common now, and these are the sort of the roles adjacent to the three that I've shared earlier. You have things like audio designer, who typically design the audio for the games. You have the community managers, YouTuber. You can become a YouTuber. You can become a game journalist. You can become a mocap actor. You can be part of business development. You can work in the gamification industry, esports, work with the game publisher and all that. And of course, if you have all the money that you need, you can probably be the CEO of your own company, right? And that's definitely a career option as well. Okay, moving forward, what kind of workplace culture that we have in the game industry typically? Of course, this is depending from studio to studio. Generally, there's open concept. There are less partition and rooms, a lot of discussion area with whiteboards. We usually have casual dress code and almost flat management hierarchy, and a lot of creatives and fun activities such as brainstorming, jamming, and playing games and all that as part of the workplace culture. So what are the specific skill sets required that you need to join the game industry? Of course, as mentioned through the videos as well, the first and the most important one is passion. It's not like passion is the only thing that you need. It's more like a prerequisite, because without passion, you will not have the discipline and the ability to problem solve, do critical thinking, and be creative and imaginative, and have the communication skills to work with the team. Because the passion is kind of supplement all that hardship and difficulties that you will face in the game industry. And of course, you need a competency in specific skill set, be it programming, be it art, be it game design. And the bonus one, I think the most important one, I think, to actually have the non-work related hobbies or passions, such as the best kind of animator. Let's say if you are working on a fighting game, right? Is someone who actually practice taekwondo, silat, or karate, or jiu-jitsu, because throughout their other passion outside of their career, they have seen a lot of body movement, locomotion, and how people actually do combat in that might be functional in a fighting game. So the best kind of animator is someone who actually does practice some sort of martial arts, and that will be really useful for the studio to hire someone with a non-work related hobbies or passion that is additional to what they're going to do in their role. Moving forward, that we've shared a lot of videos about the global game industry. There's a lot of videos of things from outside Malaysia. So let's take a perspective of Malaysian game industry itself. There's a lot of success story in the Malaysian game industry. This is some of those that I can quickly compile and share with you. So there's Malaysian footprint on the global blockbuster games such as Street Fighter V by Streamline Studios who work on it, and Gears of War 5 that's worked by Lemon Sky, and also PlayStation Studios Marvel Spider-Man that was worked by Passion Republic. All these studios have contributed game art and co-development for these blockbuster games that's very well known worldwide. On top of that, we have a lot of award-winning indie studios who submitted and won awards globally, from US to Taiwan to Japan to Korea. And this shows that the kind of a product that Malaysians can make. And this is some of the studios that you can take a look there, and some of the awards that have won throughout the years. And on top of that, there's a lot of top international game companies located in Malaysia. So PlayStation Studios Malaysia is one of them. And there's a lot of other studios as well, such as Bandai Namco Studios, Codemasters, and Deluxe Games. And also, when we talk about globally known Malaysian game IP, there's some Malaysian IPs who've penetrated and expanded globally and sold globally through various platforms such as Steam, Epic Game Store, PS4, and Nintendo Switch. There are games like No Straight Roads, Relegend, Simulacra, Azimius, Warpots, and also Rhythm Doctor. And on top of that, some of the unique exclusive platform deals that has happened for the last few years, such as King's League, was selected among the top 100 games launched at Apple Arcade. So you can imagine there's like thousands of games that submitted to Apple Arcade, and one of the games that was selected as the top 100 was Malaysian made. And also we have No Straight Roads exclusive platform deal with Epic Game Store, and those are the kind of things that we celebrate in the game industry. And kind of put that perspective, I'll just share the clip of The Game Changer by a friend of mine, Sean Beck.
In a world that restricts your imagination, I had to break free. Whether it was flying through space or designing a city, anything I could imagine, I could be. It made me realize what I wanted to do, but it also made me realize how much people didn't want me to do it. Friends,
Get a real job, bro.
teachers,
No, in my class.
they told me games were a hobby, not a job. And me failing my first 2 games just proved them right. But I believed in what I was doing, and I believed in myself. Now, people are finally starting to see the potential in games. Because making games, it's just as much a part of science, technology, engineering as any field. Sure, my job may not save lives or change the world, but if I can create a world where kids can be whatever they want to be, then I think I've done enough. I truly and strongly believe so. Growing up, it felt like the whole world was trying to limit my imagination. But through technology and engineering, I found a way to bring it to life. So who said games can't be both a hobby and a job?
Okay, that's sort of the to bring it down to earth, where in Malaysia we have such as inspiring game developers such as Sean Beck, who kind of like had a couple of failures throughout his first few projects, and after that find more successful through his other upcoming projects. So let's talk about the type of the game companies that we have in Malaysia and globally. So generally there are kind of like 5 different kind of game companies. The first one is actually indie game studio. So usually this is really small, between 1 to 10, very equivalent to sort of a startup environment in the tech world. And then we have mid-sized game studio, which is between 10 to 100 packs as well. And then we have the art production studios between 30 to 200 packs. And of course, we have game publishers who do not make games, but they actually publish and sell games, distributed locally and globally. And we have large game studio, which is 100 packs to 500 packs. So let's take a look at what we have in Malaysia. So this is some of the studios. There's Weird where Sean Beck is from, Night Morning, Ghost Space Pop, Sleepy Rock, Luso Lab, 7-Bit Games, Twin Tree Games, Logical Games, Personal Theory, FE Games, and Nerduk Productions to do some the examples of indie game studios we have in Malaysia. You can check them out. There are some mid-sized game studios. Most of them started from indie, and as they grow and they have established their sales and their business model, they kind of grow and get more people and grow to have a bigger team size. So this is App Store, Kureishi, Magnus Game Studio, Metronomic, Kaigan Games, Xenobi, and more. There's also art production studios, so they're specialized focusing on creating art content for the game industry. And this is such as Bandai Namco Studios, Lemon Sky, Fashion Republic, Streamline Games, Codemasters, and more. So you can take a look at them as well. These are the game publishers that we have in Malaysia. So some of you who play locally release games, you probably have seen their names around. They usually come from the background of bringing MMORPGs to Malaysia, but now there's a lot of them are venturing into mobile as well. So you can take a look at them as well. And when we talk about large game studio, there isn't, I wouldn't say there isn't one yet in Malaysia, but there's some good news related to that. A lot of these studios are actually nearby Malaysia. When we talk about large game development studios, it means that there are full production studios that do from programming, game design, art production, and everything. And usually this is between the size of 100 to 500 people. The good news is that you can check it out, all the list of the companies at this website, bit.ly/GameDevCompaniesMY. So this is compiled by IGT in Malaysia. And the good news is that there's a lot of new international game studios setting up in Malaysia, and some of those are Larian Studios, UK's Double 11, Larian Studios actually from Belgium, and of course Sony Interactive Entertainment that opens PlayStation Studios Malaysia, where I'm part of. So essentially, that's where we see a lot of excitement of studios coming to global studios coming to Malaysia to kind of like tap into the talent pool that we have here. So about us, essentially we've been here for almost a year plus, and essentially what we're doing is that we're trying to grow a team here. We are very much aggressively hiring, and we'll be able to share a bit more details of what kind of talent we are looking for. So this is some of the job positions that we have at PlayStation Studios Malaysia. We broke down to different departments such as art, animation, production, tech art and engineering, training, human resource, and IT. So these are some of the job roles that we have, and sort of the responsibility that they will do as part of their roles at PlayStation Studios Malaysia. So, and we are looking for more talents to fill in some of these roles. So please do check us out on LinkedIn and online on the career website. So what kind of qualities the company looks for in artists? So basically, we look for a strong foundation of art, and basically understanding of video game production process, how generally we create games, and of course an extremely good looking portfolio to kind of show off your talents to the company. So essentially that's very important. The portfolio is kind of like the gateway for you to get an interview with us, because we always filter through portfolio first, and then the suitable candidate we will call them up for interviews. Of course, you need to be self-motivated and have strong communication skills and a team mindset to work with everyone. And advice on embarking into game dev career: finding out early what you want to build games, find what kind of specialization that I've shared earlier, the kind of specific roles. If you don't know, you can ask to understand what kind of roles is that, and if that fits your characteristic, your personality as well. And focus your portfolio to the genre and the specialization that you'll be applying, and also do not limit yourself in one style. Show different kind of variety of work that you can do, and of course getting involved with the art and development community will help you to kind of like network, grow your network, and bench yourself against the global talent pool. And of course you need to be love playing games, because it's the reason why you want to be in the industry, because it's such a challenging and fun industry. But you need to love the craft for you to be able to create a good product yourself. before I end, there's one last video.
There are days I'm in a meeting and we're talking about this great game on the PlayStation 4, and I think, we're getting paid to do this. This is amazing.
Everyone that works here is so incredibly passionate about being here.
It's really fun to work on something that millions of people are going to be playing.
I want to work on stuff that brings joy to a lot of people. We get to do that every day. Our mission is to deliver joy.
Working on PlayStation is a chance to influence the future of entertainment. I don't know why you wouldn't want to be a part of that.
Not everybody that turns on a PlayStation is a gamer. It's not all about games. There's a lot more.
We also have video and Now and Plus, so we really see ourselves as an entertainment brand.
As we turn our sights towards creating all new experiences with virtual reality and whatever comes next, the culture is the same.
People can have visibility and make an impact here daily and are given that chance.
Everyone's really excited to collaborate, which is very much encouraged by the culture here.
We get opportunities to help give back to the community. We're not just entertainment, but we think about social justice issues and help make a difference in the world.
There's a lot of opportunity to attend workshops, attend leadership seminars.
And we like to have fun. There's always something going on in the office.
From the social events to the cultural events, there really is something for everyone.
The company is growing at kind of this really, really quick rate.
There's so much opportunity here just because things are changing so fast.
The future for PlayStation is bright. We make the future right here.
I tell someone I work for PlayStation and they say, that is so cool. Tell me more about your job. And I recommend it all the time. It's a great place to work.
Wow, interesting.
That's all. Thank you for listening to the talk. Feel free to ask any question that you have to me. I will be able to answer as much as I can for the Q&A session.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. Bas, okay, for the sharing earlier. All right. So perhaps all the inputs and explanation given by Mr. Bas can give you all a broad view on this sort of field. Okay. So we are going to open Q&A session. Kita akan buka Q&A sesi, sesi Q&A. Okay. Jadi para penonton boleh dipersilakan untuk memberi soalan lah kepada kami. Okay, so we have some questions that have been asked by the audience. Okay, Mr. Bas ada di sana?
Ada.
Okay, soalan yang pertama daripada audience, dia tanya, okay, what is the course ataupun stream we should further our study in order to involve in game industry? Macam mana, Mr. Bas?
That's a very good question. Ini bergantung kepada bidang mana, sebab games ni dia combination of pelbagai bidang. Dia ada bidang computer science, which is the game technology ataupun programming. Dia ada bidang game art ataupun creative multimedia ataupun fine art. Dan dia juga ada game design, which is a bit more unique, tapi dalam ada 2-3 course yang berkaitan game design di Malaysia juga. So bergantung kepada bidang yang mana, saya cadangkan untuk probably try to make your own game. Bahagian mana you suka? You suka buat visual ataukah you suka the programming, the coding, the logic untuk buat game tu, atau you just nak figure out what makes the game fun and understand player psychology, understand history, suka design konsep-konsep untuk games. So itu bergantung pada minat adik-adik sendirilah.
Okey, terima kasih Encik Bazil. Okey, ada juga soalan daripada penonton. Dia tanya, okay, do we have age limit to learn programming for game?
There is definitely no age limit. The youngest game developer that I've worked or trained with was during a game jam in 2012. Was a young kid at 5 years old. So 5 years old, we taught him how to use stencil, which is a visual programming tool. So there are some quick tutorial that we work with the person, the student, essentially, and then we guide them through, and within 48 hours of the duration of the game jam, that person managed to complete a small simple game just to kickstart kind of the interest untuk belajar lebih lanjut lah. Sebab the learning is long process, tapi the important part is to start by doing something small. And of course, adik-adik yang nak buat game ni, mungkin nak buat Fortnite, nak buat PUBG, nak buat game yang besar-besar tu. The truth is that to be able to make game as big as those, it will require a lot of years of experience and also a lot of people. Most of these games are made between 300 people to even 1,000 people in a period of between 1 year to 3 years to actually make these games. It takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of creativity, logic, understanding of concept and all that, and of multiple people untuk buat satu game tu.
Itu dia penjelasan yang sangat jelas dari Encik Fazil. Okey, rasanya kan topik slot kita hari ini memang sangat menarik sampai ramai juga yang memberikan soalan. Okey, ada juga soalan menarik daripada pihak audience ya. Okey, dia tanya, in this game art, do we may able to be lead artists without certificate, only have the skills?
Definitely. The truth is that the industry looks at your portfolio a lot more than your qualification. Your qualification, it shows that you are able to complete something, to study, follow discipline, make sure you attend all classes. But I do still recommend to study a course, not so much because you need the skills from the classes, because nowadays a lot of kids boleh learn daripada YouTube, daripada online tutorial. Ada Coursera, ada Udemy, ada all these online courses yang you can learn. Tapi it's more of the network, because when you go to school, you are studying together with like-minded people. Some of them will be your classmates, some will be best friends, some of them probably be your future spouse. Who knows, right? And the point is that when you work with these like-minded people, maybe one of them join another company 5 years down the road, and when you want to join that company, now you have a friend who's actually belajar sama-sama dulu, tapi sekarang dia boleh tolong you untuk masuk the new studio yang you nak join. And that network is so valuable, and that's something that you can get from the schools. Of course, I do encourage to self-practice and self-learn. There's enough online content and tutorial that you can go through to kind of improvise your skill, especially on art as well. Yeah.
Okay, so regarding to your explanation earlier, okay, so ada jugalah saya ingin bertanyakan, okay, boleh ke Encik Bazil kongsikan perkembangan game development dari Malaysia sendiri?
Definitely. Cerita game development kat Malaysia ni bermula daripada tahun 1994. There used to be an old Malaysian game company founded in 1994. Lepas tu in 1996 ada lagi satu company, and in 1998 ada one company. And as it grows, the game industry has evolved dalam the last 25 years or 30 years. That evolved daripada konsol, daripada PC, daripada mobile, daripada konsol, daripada PC balik and all that. And there's a lot of movement daripada dari segi jenis game, business model dan pelbagai. Di Malaysia specifically, the last 5 years or 6 years since 2015, pihak MDEC terutamanya telah menumpukan banyak effort untuk membangunkan game industry, dan pelbagai inisiatif telah dibuat, termasuklah lab KL, program-program seperti My Digital Maker, dan semuanya telah membantu membuka kesedaran rakyat Malaysia tentang potensi industri game dan juga industri kreatif seperti animasi, seperti film dan VFX juga. Dan dari segi itu kita boleh lihat PlayStation Studios di mana saya berada sekarang ni datang daripada US, and one of the first studio yang diorang invest untuk development in Southeast Asia adalah di Malaysia. And there is a huge win yang validate the PlayStation belief on talent pool dekat Malaysia. Sebab diorang tak akan datang kalau dia tak percaya kat Malaysia ni ada banyak talent yang dia boleh hire. And that's something that I think adik-adik opportunity makin besar. Compared to zaman saya graduate tahun 2007 dulu, amat berlainan. Sekarang ni banyak game company, pelbagai jenis produk, dari segi market pun ada mobile, ada PC, ada konsol. Dan kita boleh lihat IP daripada Malaysia sendiri telah berjaya menembusi market international. Seperti games daripada Metronomic, No Straight Road, Rhythm Doctor daripada 7-bit games, dan juga Simulacra daripada Kaigan. Ini antara IP buatan Malaysia yang telah dijual dan memenangi award internationally di Jepun, di US dan serata dunia. Itu menunjukkan bakat-bakat yang ada kat Malaysia ni setanding ataupun boleh compete at the global scale, because the game industry is a very global market. Kita buat game kat Malaysia, kita boleh jual kat US. Orang US buat dekat game daripada US boleh jual kat Malaysia, because the market, the storefront are very open-ended, and that's something that we need to make sure we raise the bar, the quality of our skill set, supaya kita boleh compete dan terus membangunkan industri game di Malaysia ini dan juga serantau ini.
Okey, terima kasih Encik Fazil. Okay, sambungan daripada soalan tadi lah kan. Okey, jadi game Malaysia ni ada banyak yang dah berjaya lah kan dan menarik.
Yep.
Okey, boleh Encik Fazil bagi contoh satu yang berjaya dan menarik.
Okey, saya bagi 3 lah.
3 contoh.
3. Yang pertama, No Straight Road daripada company bernama Metronomy, dibangunkan oleh former lead game designer of Square Enix yang buat Final Fantasy 15. So 𝐿𝐻𝐷𝐿 dan juga tim di Malaysia telah membangunkan game ni lebih daripada 2 tahun dan juga memasarkan kepada PS4, Xbox, Switch, Epic Game Store dan semua simultaneous launch, which is very hard to do lah. Dan orang dah jual, dah make profit on the first day of the sales itself. So that's something that is very good landmark for the industry. We also have a hidden success such as Rhythm Doctor yang dibuat oleh small team daripada Malaysia dan juga international partners yang akan bekerjasama. Nama dia Rhythm Doctor daripada 7-bit games. Game ni adalah game music. So dia tekan satu button dan dia akan perlu pasal doktor yang menyelamatkan pesakit dengan menggunakan satu button pada beat yang ke-7. Dan game tu telah terjual amat tinggi copies dia di Steam, dan kita membangga buatan Malaysia yang nampak kecil tapi berjaya memukau dan memikat hati pemain-pemain daripada Korea, daripada Jepun, daripada US, daripada Europe. Ini membuktikan buatan Malaysia itu ada global appeal tu. Dan seterusnya saya sebut pasal Simulacra ataupun Kaigan. Kaigan Games ni dia agak unik sebab dia buat game horror. Dia buat daripada Simulacra dan juga Simulacra 2. Dan dia paling baru dia ada collaboration dengan Maze Theory dan juga BBC untuk IP Doctor Who. Doctor Who ni kira macam top IP daripada UK. Kalau kita dengar nama Doctor Who ni, kiranya dia orang punya Marvel lah. So the game yang dia orang release kat Steam, itu adalah salah satu daripada game tu adalah buatan tim Malaysia dengan kolaborasi dengan tim Mystery dan juga BBC. That's something impressive. Malaysian being entrusted with global IP macam Doctor Who. So antara cerita-cerita yang kita banggalah di Malaysia ini.
Yes, totally impressive lah. Okay, jadi terima kasih. Saya rasa penjelasan Encik Fazil sangat jelas lah. Okay, kita lihat ada lagi ke komen ataupun soalan? Okay, ada berkaitan dengan minat lah. Okay, ramai pelajar yang suka bidang game ni, dia minat. Okay, suka, tapi dia mungkin tak reti ataupun tak ada skill tu. Okay, boleh tak Encik Fazil bagi nasihat untuk yang pelajar yang minat game ni supaya study dulu ke apa ke, macam mana ke?
Okay, so that's very good question. Sebab kita ni minat game kan. Cuma bezanya kita kena faham dia adalah dua perkara berbeza. Minat bermain game dan minat membangunkan game tu adalah dua benda yang berbeza. Saya bagi contoh lah. Kalau suka makan sushi kan, makan sushi ni sedap. Makan sate sedap, makan sushi sedap. Tapi kalau makan sushi ni, yang buat sushi tu chef sushi. And dekat Jepun, chef sushi ni antara the highest tier of culinary discipline. Nak jadi chef sushi ni kena bekerja 10 tahun. Pergi sekolah macam mana pun tak dapat, you kena bekerja dekat restoran 10 tahun sebagai assistant. Lepas 10 tahun baru orang akan recognize, okay, now you boleh buka restoran sushi sendiri. That's how much they respect the craftsmanship of membuat sushi itu sendiri. Cuba nak berbalik kepada adik-adik, bila kita minat makan sushi, bila kita makan kita kena bayar. Tapi yang buat sushi tu dah dapat bayaran. Kalau contohnya Jazro The Sushi Dream punya dokumentari tu menceritakan pasal pakar pembuat sushi nama Jazro nak book restoran itu kena 3 bulan ke 6 bulan awal. Sebab full house. Dia memang orang akan bayar dia expensive meal untuk makan sushi yang dia buat. Sebab sushi yang dia buat tu kiranya orang kata paling sedap lah contohnya. So sama juga dengan game. Bila kita main game ni, alhamdulillah boleh minat main game tapi kena cuba untuk buat game. So saya cadangkan untuk adik-adik yang nak cuba explore game development ni, mulalah jinak-jinak untuk buat game sendiri. Banyak tools-tools kat luar, contohnya stencil, contohnya Scratch. Kalau nak modding dekat Roblox pun ada, Minecraft pun ada creator mode yang boleh bina bangunan sekolah sendiri dan juga pelbagai lagi benda-benda yang mendekatkan adik untuk membuat game sendiri. So saya cadangkan adik mula berjinak-jinak ke arah tu, dan dari segi tu bila dah makin buat, kalau makin suka, insya-Allah game development adalah sesuai untuk jiwa adik. And that's something that I would recommend. To explore, mungkin untuk tertiary study ke, nak cari dekat universiti ke.
Terima kasih Encik Fazil. Basically kalau kepada pelajar yang minat dengan membuat game sendiri ni, bolehlah develop sendiri game menggunakan Scratch programming macam Encik Fazil cakap kan. Ataupun game di Roblox ataupun Minecraft kan. Okay, so sangat menarik. Okay, sekarang ni tadi Encik Fazil ada terangkan lah tentang kriteria dan juga requirement untuk menceburi bidang ni. Okay, so mungkin Encik Fazil boleh explainkan balik, okay, apakah kriteria dan requirement needed untuk seseorang tu untuk apply for this field lah, this kind of field.
Okay, definitely we start with the passion lah, minat pada game dan juga membangunkan game ni. Yang tu adalah asas dia, tapi semua orang pun minat. Kalau kita nak interview 100 orang, semua minat nak bekerja dalam industri game. Tapi yang membezakan tu bila minat tu ditranslatekan kepada usaha. Usaha-usaha dan juga seperti disiplin, projek-projek yang adik buat. Soalan simple yang selalu kami tanya untuk kandidat-kandidat yang keluar dari universiti, tanya, adakah mereka ada membuat kerja-kerja projek-projek game yang bukan assignment? Sebab kalau semuanya hanya buat sebab assignment sekolah, nak submit sebab dapat markah, nak pass paper, maknanya dia orang tak ada buat game kerana mereka suka. Kan? So soalan tu kami selalu tanya, dan kita boleh nampak student-student yang on the semester break yang sebulan, 2 bulan tu, dia orang buat projek kecil-kecil supaya dia orang boleh explore lebih. Yang tu kita boleh nampak minat lebih mendalam dan usaha yang telah dilakukan untuk menjadi lebih baik. Menjadi game developer lebih baik, menjadi programmer yang lebih baik. Dan setiap bidang tu ada dia punya skill set yang tersendiri. So adik boleh tengok, boleh google je game artist job description contohnya. Bila kita google tu, boleh nampak skill set yang diperlukan. Contohnya kalau untuk game artist ni, kenalah tahu sama ada 2D software ataupun 3D software. Sama ada adik buat 2D art atau 3D art. So dalam 3D pun ada bidang-bidang yang lain. Ada buat karakter, ada buat environment, ada buat vehicle dan macam-macam lagi. So semua ni adalah bidang-bidang yang memang specialized. Sebab game industry ni memang dah very specialized industry, and you have to be very good at one thing and diversify and understand the rest of the process and pipeline. So yang tu antara advice yang saya boleh share lah.
Okey, terima kasih Encik Fazil. Nampaknya masa telah menceburi kita. Okey, jadi kita akan buat conclusion lah dari explanation daripada Encik Fazil sendiri. Okey, jadi kepada para pelajar yang berminat untuk develop game sendiri, okey, bolehlah start daripada awal untuk explore sendiri kan Encik Fazil. Okey, explore sendiri, okey, bolehlah pergi Scratch ke kan, kita boleh buat programming untuk build the game lah, create your own game. Okay, so dari sekarang lah boleh memupuk minat tu, minat dalam menceburi career game ni, game development ni. Okay, so sampai di sini sajalah sesi slot kita pada hari ini. Okay, terima kasih banyak-banyak kepada Encik Fazil kerana sudi meluangkan masa bersama saya dan juga 𝐷𝐻𝐿. Okay, dalam sesi slot career guidance ni, okay, untuk career guide for the game industry lah. Career guide for the game industry. Okay, Encik Fazil. Alright, so kita akan berehat seketika ya dengan tayangan video yang menarik. Diharapkan para penonton masih lagi bersemangat kerana program selepas ini sangat menarik iaitu sesi yang bertajuk Drone Basics and Exploration. Jangan lepaskan peluang. Jom kita saksikan video selepas ini. Okay, terima kasih Encik Fazil.
Hi, good day everyone. I'm Genting. I'm a teacher and founder of Anything Creativity Education, a place where we focus on develop children's creativity. This year, it's our honor to be part of the My Digital Maker movement. End of this year, we will bring you a week-long virtual event. We name it the Anything Creativity Festival. Anything Creativity Festival ACF is a week-long free virtual event aimed to expose children to learn, play, and create on digital landscape and help them to develop emotionally, to be happy and creative. The event included hard skills like digital art, comic, music, storybook making, etc., and soft skills like emotional well-being. All of those workshops support the creative comic competition, where children will showcase what they have learned and stand a chance to win a prize to help them continue their digital journey. We have been impact more than 500 individuals from public to international school, leading children to see how ideas fit into the big picture. Be goal-driven and value-driven with our creative classes, 𝐉𝐀 Max Camp and 𝐉𝐀 Max Camp throughout those years. Students are happily produce creative and awesome creation with us under our creative program. All that we do are aligned to our core mission to let children be happy and be creative. If you feel that what we do is fun, benefiting you and your children, come and join us at Anything Creativity Festival. Here, you get to learn creative multimedia classes with anything teacher and guest teacher and coach from different industry for free. Plus, you also stand a chance to win a digital drawing tablet and class voucher to kickstart your digital learning. Sounds cool, right? Come and join us. I will see you there. Okay? See ya.